So welcome to Master Your State to Create. This is one of the few sessions in this series that's not directly about business, but in many ways is the most important thing to be able to run a successful business. Now, before I get into the state thing, let me just touch base on what the Embodied Business Institute is for those of you who are new to this call. We help you grow your wisdom, your wisdom business. That's put wisdom and wisdom together. So we help you grow your wisdom business by combining state and strategy. So state is about the inner world and mastering the inner current of life force and your own perceptions, your own thoughts and feelings. And your strategy is really knowing what's needed next to grow your business. And we bring them together to create a way of doing business that's not just like here, the 5-step plan, go and do it. It's about awakening the current of your own life force and then knowing which step to take next and next. And then the third part of our passion is about community and about having the right coaching and the right people around you so that you can truly grow a business as part of a community experience rather than just as an individual phenomenon. So let's get into Master Your State to Create. Now, I had lucky enough to have thousands of people come to me to say, help me with my business. Yeah, from the last 15 or 20 years, I've been helping thousands and thousands of people grow their business. And most of the time they come and they think it's what they call a strategy issue. Like, I've got to work out, how do I find more clients? What's my marketing plan like? I've got to do something out there to improve my business. And I reckon 80% of the time, the first, if not the only thing we work on is their state. Because our state is shaping our perceptions. Yeah, it's shaping our reality. And so when we look at something, in this case, our business, there is a really a million different things we can focus on. Yeah, if you're just beginning, you can focus on the new exciting possibilities that are in front of you, or you can focus on, I've got no idea what I'm doing. And same with possibilities and opportunities. And there's continually in life, yeah, obviously there's so many things we can focus on. And mastering our state is about mastering our focus. But given we're at the Embodied Business Institute, it's not about just mastering your focus on a mental level, about where you put your mind or your mental attention. It's actually about where you put your focus and your life force. So for me, mastering your state is the art of mastering your own life force, being able to bring it alive when needed. In fact, I think of our state like a dragon. Yeah, that our state is the fundamental life force that flows underneath our personality. Yeah, so we've got thoughts and feelings on the surface, we've got likes and dislikes, but underneath that there is this current of life force. And if that current of life force is vital and alive and full, then there's a whole way of experiencing the moment and a whole field of possibilities that we see that are profoundly different than if that pulse of life force is weighed down, heavy, drained, exhausted. Then we can be in exactly the same life circumstances, but what we see is completely different. So in terms of a dragon, it's like if your life force and your state are heavy and weighted, it's like you're having to drag a sort of a sleeping dragon around with you. Yeah. And you go, oh, I want to create this business. I want to get 10 new clients. And the dragon rolls one eye at you and goes, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Whereas if you've woken up that dragon of your life force and you have a visceral embodied connection to it, and you're able to feed it through your attention, through the things we're going to learn today, then what happens is you say, I think I want to grow my business. And the dragon sort of spreads its wings and goes, rah, jump on my back, let's do it. Yeah. So really today is about how to, work with that dragon. Now, some of you will have a lot of experience of working with your life force, your focus, your attention, and your state. Others of you might be really new to this, but because there's obviously a 1,000 different ways to create your state. And the most important thing is that you use one of them. Yeah. So I'm going to teach you the embodied way of state, creating that we use, and that's come from me running 70 retreats and training thousands of warriors in the Warrior of Love sort of pathway that I ran for a decade. And the core of this practice differentiates itself from a lot of state practice, because it's really about the whole physiology, as opposed to just really being able to get your mind and then bring your body online with what your mind's chosen. My passion is that this body of yours, of mine, is not just a lump of flesh to be dragged around by our mind. Yeah, does that make sense? That's if you're here in the Body Business Institute, I hope that's part of what you believe, that this body isn't just a subservient vehicle to be dragged around by the patriarchal dominant mind. Yeah, that my passion is just throwing in the word patriarchy there. I don't think I've ever used that before in a session. That the body is this living intelligence. It's this depth of wisdom and intimacy with ourselves, with the earth, and with our customers from a business level. So being able to wake up the body is both an incredible way to live and create. It means that we come present, we come alive, and that we can be really anchored in each action that we're doing. But it also means that we have a flow of life force that is really powerful for creating a business, as well as magnetic for connecting to other people. So, of all those people that come and get coaching with me, in fact, I'll give you a story to start. That's a really good way to start this session. So this is only recently, a few months ago, I had someone come to me who's very well known in this sort of industry, been doing this work for 10 or 15 years, running, a multi-six-figure business, and really he'd lost his passion for it. He was struggling to generate wealth. Just things weren't working. And he knew the way I worked was on an embodied level. And so he came and said, I've tried lots of other things. I've got my visions, I've got my actions, I've got all of that stuff, but I just can't seem to get an action. I can't seem to get traction with my clients. And I don't know what's going on. So quite quickly, it was really obvious to me that his state was down, and we know that because you can feel it. Yeah, we've all know that our capacity to feel is a whole sense. Just like we see things, we feel things, and we've all been in the presence of someone who's alive, and even if they're not saying anything, you can feel them. Yeah, they give energy just by their nature. And so too, when someone's depleted, exhausted, they can pull down and feel like they really do the opposite of inspire. And so we're listening and communicating through our bodies to other people's state all the time. So we're on screens, you're where you are, but my body is transmitting. So quite quickly in the session, it was really clear that his state was out. Yeah, that something had happened to his state, but he didn't really want to go there. This is what was interesting. He came to me for strategy. He'd seen me growing my business, and he went, "Oh, I want to get more clients now. I've got to get this happening." He was freaking out about money. I've got to get it happening. And we always had this fight, which is, it's always good coaching if you're having a fight with your clients, because it was like, I just want you to stop focusing externally for a little while. We've got to get your state right. And at first it was like, no, that's not going to work. I've got to, no. And he argued with me for a bit. But finally, through good conversation, I was able to show him that while his state was in that depleted, exhausted space, he wasn't going to be able to create what he wanted. And so what I said to him was that if we work on your state, he'd signed up for a 10-session, 3-month package. If we work on your state for the first 3 or 4 sessions, I guarantee you things will start to change. But just give me a month and we'll just focus on your state, because I knew he was a powerful creator. I knew that his internal state. So we got to work. We did a whole lot of state work, a bit of what I'll be teaching you today. And after about 3 or 4 sessions, he was starting to feel more alive. And there was this real choice point for him but he still wasn't getting the results straight away. And he was feeling less heavy, but business wasn't going. And so then he came at me again and said, no, I want to, I need some strategies. We need to shift the business. And I remember this really clear moment. I said, you are an incredibly powerful creator. Once your state drops in, you will start creating faster and more powerfully than you ever dreamed. Trust me, please, and let's keep going. And we did about another 3 sessions. So it took about 6 weeks, which is longer than it usually takes, but 6 weeks of him doing embodied practices, clearing some stuff from the past, really activating and working with and remembering his life force again, because he'd become so in his head. And at about 7 weeks, he started to come alive again. It was like, in his words, it was like, I haven't felt this in over a decade. Yeah, he'd been through trauma and circumstances that had just suppressed his life force. And he's like, oh my God, I'm alive again. I'm feeling it. And then possibilities started to flow for his business. He started to get inspired and creative. And then those whole coincidence things started to happen. Yeah, where he met someone, on a river and he gave him a business opportunity. Just these things happened. And by the end of 10 weeks, literally from sort of 6 or 7 weeks of no external change, then by the end of the program, and he's literally just messaged me the other day saying he's just done his biggest sales month ever, you know, um, and that was only, you know, we did 90% work on getting the state right. Then we did a bit of strategy work, but his energy was already alive. He was pretty good at strategy. He just needed to transform his state. So many of us are looking to grow our businesses or change our lives, and we're looking for the external thing that's required to do that. But so often, yeah, it's not the external thing. It's a shift in perspective. It's a shift in state that changes things. And so the amount of breakthroughs that I've seen people have in their business, that we've done is shift their state and their whole world transforms. Yeah. So you up for that? You up for shifting the state today? Or in the right place for it? Great. So take a breath, just get up and just move the body around a little bit. Just have a stretch, have a few deep breaths, shake the booty, do whatever you want to do. Just shake and move and breathe. And just keep doing that. I'm just going to talk about this miracle of a body for a second with you, while you just do whatever you do to move, breathe, shake, just come present in the body. This body is a fucking miracle. This body is like, where did it come from? Who taught the body that there's a heart that pumps blood and oxygen? Who taught there's a digestive system? Who taught the eyes to see? Yeah, like this body has a living intelligence in it that is unfathomable. Yeah. I don't care if you're religious or whatever it is. If you just spend long enough looking at the body, it's a glorious mystery to behold. So let's create business as an expression and attune to that mystery, to that majesty of the body. Yeah. And just keep breathing, moving your body. That your body is not just physical muscles and tissue and organs and blood and nervous system impulses. Your body, some of you will know this really well, your body is your unconscious mind. It is the roots of your reality. Yeah, so that if you think of a tree, that we see a tree on the surface, glorious trees outside, they have their branches, but so much of what's shaping the health and the potency of their branches is their roots. And our body is the roots of our psyche. And so what's happening in our body is shaping our personality. It's shaping how we think, how we see, how we perceive. So if we can make a shift in how energy moves through our body, then we transform the nutrients of the roots, which transforms the trunk, which transforms the branches, which transforms the amount of apples. I'm changing tree metaphors, but you get what I mean, that we have to share with the world. So take a few more breaths and just notice what's going on in your body right now. Yeah, whether it's feeling tingly and alive, whether it's feeling a bit heavy, whatever's present, just take some breaths and just say hello to the body as it is. Because how we master the state here is through what the warrior work we called it the lotus and the sword, which is love and choice. And love is the ability to love exactly what is as it is. And then choice is the ability to then, from that place of love and acceptance, choose what we want. So I'm not going fully into the whole methodology of the lotus and the sword today, but let's just take a few breaths of, I love you just the way you are. Yeah, you can even say that to yourself if you want. I love you. Or you can, if you're sort of a wild person, you can say, I fucking love you, if that works for you. Yes, or however you want to do it. Just take some breaths and just bring love and acceptance to yourself as you are right now. Yeah, one of the things that really messes with our state is resisting what is. Yeah, if our body is heavy and tired, but our mind is going, you shouldn't be heavy and tired, that's just creates more tension. So just love and acceptance for all that's here in your heart, in your body, in your emotions, and your thoughts. Just we welcome everything as it is. And then there's choice. Yeah. And I believe, and I've trained thousands of people in this, the greater our ability to love what is, the greater our power then comes to choose. If we're resisting life a lot, then our power to choose is quite small because our energy is taken up in resisting. The more we can fully be up and love ourselves, our circumstances as they are, then it sort of grounds us in reality, in where we are, and doesn't we don't waste our life force on resisting, and then that allows us to make a choice, a really clear, powerful choice. So I'm going to teach you how to make a choice, what I call an embodied choice, which is how to activate your state in a way that you can use as a foundation to transform your business or transform anything in your life. And then the second session we're doing is on the skill of creation, which is where we learn to specifically activate our state in relationship with creating a very specific goal. Okay, so Sue, do you want to just bring up just come back to your chairs, just breathe and center yourself, and I'll just do a little bit more training about how we do the state, and then we're gonna do some work, going to get you moving, going to get you activating that state. So first, just you can put up the path. I think it's called the pathways one, just with the state with the different elements. Okay, so our state creates our reality, and when we change our state, it changes our perceptions. Yeah, we all know that. We all know that when we're in love and we look at somebody, they look really different than when we're, frustrated and annoyed. So too with our business. So that the foundation of changing our state changes our perception. It changes the way we see things. Yeah, we often think, well, things are the way they are, but no, we are shaping our relationship with anything. Obvious is it's raining, and the fact is it's raining, but our perception of that is good or bad, right or wrong. Yeah. And then that changes the pathways that we can see. And this is what I love working with state, is that people come and tell me what's possible in their business, and then we practice, we shift their state. And then in that new state, I say, what do you see now? And they're like, oh my God, there's this door appeared that wasn't there before. There's these possibilities that either they didn't even see, or they saw but was like, oh, I can't do that, or that's not right for me. And now shift your state, new pathways, new doorways emerge, which then creates new actions. Yeah, because we're seeing different pathways, so we take different actions, which therefore creates different results and creates a different life. Yeah. So that's why changing our state fundamentally changes our whole life. And in case of your business, which is what we're here to focus on today, if you can shift your state, you can shift your business. No matter what's going on, no matter what the challenges are, if your state is alive, is activated, if you have the power to choose and then bring that choice fully alive through your body, you can shift through any challenges, and you have the foundations to create a successful business. If you don't have this, then no amount of strategy will help. Yeah, this is one of the problems. You can take that screen down now, so thank you. One of the challenges for so much of modern business trainings is they focus mostly on strategy, or what they'll call mindset, yeah, which is just how we think. But unless you've got a really strong embodied connection, then changing how you think won't change the roots of your system. So you can have some new thoughts on the surface, but unless those thoughts really know how to enter into the unconscious mind, whether that's through this embodied method we're going to work or whatever other techniques, then it doesn't change the foundations of your being. And then you'll still be operating from inside the same paradigm with a new thought on top, like a different cherry, but the same cake. So how do you change your state? Well, we all know that our state is being impacted all the time, yeah, by circumstances, by emotions, by responses and reactions to things. So the secret to change your state is really starts for me with being able to listen to our body, because our body is our unconscious mind. And so if we can listen to our body, we can actually hear what's going on in our unconscious, therefore what's shaping our state. Yeah, so that if someone walks into the room and you notice yourself go, oh, you know something's going on in your unconscious about with that person. Yeah, so too as if you're going to focus on your business and you think, today I'm going to do 10 cold calls, and you notice your state goes, it's like, aha, yeah, something's going on in the unconscious there. And if you don't notice that, if you don't pay attention to that, then the mind just goes, come on, I've done my empowerment course, I've got to do 10 cold calls a day, come on. And the mind moves forward, says this is what I should do, but we're not listening to the unconscious, which is scared or frustrated or in some way not online with the idea of 10 calls for the day. And then your unconscious and your conscious fight, and so much tension and inability to create is that tension between the conscious and the unconscious. Yeah, my life's work really outside business coaching is helping people master how their conscious and unconscious can become lovers. Yeah, we won't go into that fully today, but that's my real belief, is that the body and the mind, the conscious and the unconscious, can become this synergy of deep flowing life force, love and passion, and we can live and create from there. So that's what we're learning today. So I'm going to introduce to you now the warrior engine. And this is how we make a choice and then seed it through our body to become a new foundation of our state. But before I teach you that, let's do a little test. So I want you to take a few breaths, put your hands on your body if that helps. Just take a few breaths. Hello, body. Now we're going to do what we call embodiment testing. And this is a fascinating thing to do, but we'll only be doing a little bit today, but you'll get the idea. So we're going to listen to your body's response to some things, and we'll see just what it says. And yeah, well, I'll just tell you, and then I'll tell you more about it after we've done it. Okay, so I just want you to close your eyes, and I just want you to say to yourself, I love you. And just listen. Yeah, listen to your body, your dragon. Does your body sort of rise and go, yes, and I love you too, you hot smoking legend? Yeah, or does it actually feel heavy, or does it, just listen. So say again, I love you, and just listen. How does the body respond? Yeah, because that's a conscious intention, but is the unconscious aligned with it, which is what real state mastery is about. It's getting them aligned. It's not about just getting mindset and getting an idea of something. It's about being able to take that idea and align it with your deep body, your unconscious. So we'll try it one more time. I love you. And just for fun, even though that this scale I'm about to teach you is not reality, it's a fun way to explore. I want you to imagine that your body is responding from 1 to 10, 10 being like a fuck yes, and 1 being a fuck no. And just feel, out of 10, how aligned is this body to this intention that you've just offered it? I love you. Mine's about a 6 or a 7 today. I can feel a flow there, but it feels quite gentle. It doesn't feel really viscerally alive, but it feels quite sweet and soft. So just notice, how does the body respond? And then just put your number in the chat, just for fun. Great. And let's try another one. So chuck that in the chat, and let's try something different. Okay, I am powerful. And we're not actually trying to do affirmations to sort of, I am powerful, and trying to activate that state. We'll play with that in a bit. But first, it's about just listening. Yeah, I think too much of the modern empowerment movement is about just having an idea of who you should be in your mind and bashing your body with it. The way we work here is way more like a intimate communication. So it starts with listening. So I am powerful, and just listen. Yeah. And what number do you get from that? And just breathe that, welcome that in, even if it's a two, welcome two, it's better than a one. Well, and in many ways, it's just about even dropping the judgment of good or bad. It's just being able to recognize each of us have our unique soil. Yeah, that I think of our body often like soil or compost. It's the ground upon which the seeds of our intention are sown. And so, yeah, great. There's some eights, some fives, good stuff. Just take a breath and welcome that. And let's try another one. What about I am sexy? Or you can change it for smoking hot or whatever you want to do. But just, I am sexy. And just notice. Yeah. I used to be like a two for that before I did a lot of work around my own love and attractiveness and sexuality. It was like, oh, my whole system would go, oh, and I'd be like right back in high school with pimples and a fringe, and I just feel ugly as, And I've learned, to change that now. But just notice, I am sexy, or chuck another word in. If, some people don't like the word sexy, that's fine. Chuck in whatever word works, and just notice what you get for that. Great. Craig is an eight sexy. Good to hear. Bring it on. It's so, I mean, I've done a huge amount of sexuality work. I won't go right down this path now, but um, when our sexuality is not outsourced to others to tell us whether we're sexy or not, life is just way better. Anyway, let's not go there. Okay, take a breath. And now let's do one related to business. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a money one of I am wealthy. Yeah. Because what we're doing is we're checking what does our unconscious tell us, what is our unconscious state around being wealthy. Yeah, again, a lot of people I work with have incredible talent, incredible gifts. They even know how to package it up. They even know how to do some marketing. But the reason it's not working is the amount of money that wants to come to them. They don't have a pattern for their wealth. Their embodiment wealth pattern is like at a two, and so their actions just keep getting stuck because they actually don't have the inner pattern to receive that wealth. Yeah. So I am wealthy, or I am rich, or I am $10,000 a month, whatever you want to say. Just notice. 4, 5, just and chuck your number in there. And we'll do one last one. Yeah. Um, I have a successful business. Let's go there. We could be doing lots of things. You could find your own words if we had more time, but let's just go with I have a incredibly successful business, or something like that. And just notice 240. Yep, zero from Megan. I guess that maybe you don't have a business yet. But the point is, part of working with our state is I talk about this a lot in the deeper trainings I do about conviction with evidence and conviction without evidence. And so there's a certain type of conviction that can only come through experience and evidence over time. Yeah, so that I've coached, 10, 20, 30,000 people. And so when I'm sitting there coaching someone, there's a level of experience that I have that just can't be faked or made up by working with my state. It's learned conviction. Yeah. But then unlearned, or a conviction without evidence, is the conviction that comes purely because you fucking choose it. Yeah, because you choose to believe it, and it's often without evidence, and it's central to being able to birth something new into the world. Yeah, because if you're waiting for the evidence out there but you haven't done it yet, then it's very hard to have the confidence to do it. So that ability to go, I have a successful business, and maybe practically you don't, but the state can say, yes, you do. Yeah, that's an incredibly powerful foundation for your state. Great. So some sixes, some ones. Okay, good. So are you getting why I'm sharing about this? Just is this making sense so far? Just give us some hands. Is making sense about being able to, yeah, uh, listen to your own state, because so many people are trying to create over the top of what's going on with their state. And if you haven't, as I shared before with the guy I was coaching, if you haven't got the tools to work with your state, no amount of action and strategy will work. It's also profoundly um, uh, tension building in the system. Yeah, so many of us are carrying stress because we've got a mental idea of who we should be, and then the unconscious, the body is different, and we're fighting. Whereas this practice I'm teaching you is about learning to create this synergistic flow with your state, which then makes action incredible. And when I teach you the skill of embodied creation in the next session, teach you how you can be incredibly powerful action in your business with very little effort, with very little rah-rah force, even tension, because you've already embodied the state. Okay, so now let's do it. Let's get juicy. An amazing self-awareness tool. Great to hear. Great. Yeah, incongruence. It's so powerful. Like once you're fully trained in this, it means that anytime you're wanting to create something, yeah, you can listen to your own body, even with your partner. You can go, I am loved. Oh my God, I'm at a 2. How can I go into my relationship with that? It's like, okay, I've got to work with that first before I try and get them. Why aren't you loving me? Because that's what happens. Yeah, if the state is missing something inside and we don't have the tools to awaken it from the within, then we start looking for it out there. But often the lack that we feel inside gets projected outside, so that lack of ability to receive wealth becomes, I've got to get money, I haven't got money, and becomes this whole tension or effort. I've got to get love, got to get attention, got to get fulfillment, got to get something outside us. Yeah, and that's the foundation of the whole way we work with the state, is being able to access and awaken life force within, separate from what life is telling us about how we're going, because then we're not chasing, trying to get what's missing inside. Instead, we are overflowing life force. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do it. So I want you to choose something that you would love to awaken for yourself right now. Let's say a quality. Yeah, love, peace, power, confidence, conviction, sexiness, freedom, joy, confidence. So, whatever you want. I want you to choose one and just chuck it in the chat. Something that you feel, today is the day, I'm ready to wake this up. Power, great. Inner joy, love it. Confidence, confidence. Oh, we've got a double confidence, triple confidence. Hey, confidence is an amazing one actually for business owners. I used to work with confidence a bit with people, but as soon as I started working specifically with business owners, I realized it's a foundational state to being able to create a successful business, because you have to have confidence before you get the results. Whereas often we're unconsciously, you know, uh, waiting for the results to get the confidence, but then we don't have the confidence to create the results. Hence, we stay stuck. Okay, great. Freedom, abundance, self-control. Great. So with self-control, or with anything that's, yeah, you'll just have to listen for how does that feel in the body, but I trust you'll find it. Most of them are probably pretty clear. Okay. So are you ready? You ready to create it? Give us some hands if you're up for it. Good, good. Take a breath. Now, this is how we do it. We use what we call the warrior engine. And this is, the fastest, most powerful, most deepest way to take this, what I call this an essence. So this thing you've chosen, success, abundance, power, I call that an essence. And there's a whole training about that, but we won't go into that now. But basically the sort of the theory is that we are in a unified field of everything. And so that in that field of everything is all the power, the love, the freedom, the joy that we could ever desire. Yeah, I could tell you stories of, when my wife passed, or basically, in fact, I'll just touch on that in the journey, my wife was diagnosed with cancer 12 and a half years ago, and it was horrible. No, she passed 12 and a half years ago, so she was diagnosed 14 years ago. And it was a horrible time for me, and it was a real, a lot of my little spiritual paradigms and concepts didn't work, and they broke, and life was nowhere near as beautiful as I had hoped it would be. I was heartbroken, and before that I had a belief if you just do all the right things, life will be kind to you. And here, the mother of a 1.5-year-old boy was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I broke, and for a long time I just became an absolute shell of a man. So my state was at a 1, and then I was just going through the motions. And at a certain point, I really broke. And I just remember sliding onto the floor one night and just sobbing and going, I can't do this. And in that place, I felt like a love found me. I'm taking a longer story and making it into a short one, but a really deep sense of love found me that I tried to argue. Look at what I'm failing as a dad. I'm failing as a carer for my wife, as a husband, and I just felt so horrible about myself. And it felt like love just went, yeah, whatever, I love you anyway. And I'd throw all my problems at it and just go, oh, I love you anyway. And this love grew in me, this deep holding love. And each night I would just cry and it would hold me until not only did I feel it, it started to flow through my body. And then it started to show me how to parent my son and care for my wife. And then she found it too. She called it the love that cannot die. And in her last month, she found this incredible beauty right in the face of death, in the face of, the worst things ever happening, her losing her dream. She found this incredibly radiant love. And so the last months of her life were this incredible grief and this incredible love. And the thing that love showed me and continues to show me is just when I get out of this, and I'm sure you all know this to some degree, when we get out of this and come here, come into the moment, there's a field of beauty and life force that's breathtaking to behold. And my life's work really is helping us not only awaken to that in a sort of a spiritual sense of feeling that, but actually being able to live in the current of that beauty and to create our businesses in the current of that love. So often we'll go to a meditation or we'll walk out in nature and it's like, yeah, I'm one with life. And then we come back in, it's like, hey, put on the to-do list, get in the, and live life from there and treat those moments as spiritual or sacred moments, under a waterfall, out in nature, good sex, those precious moments. But my passion and why the Embodied Business Institute is founded is because I'm not here to just help you make money and grow your business, which I am, but I'm here to help you do that from the living current of your own love, from the universal field of love. That's not just love as a feeling of affection, it's actually a field of everything. Yeah. So that's what we're tapping into. That's what's here available to us when we choose this thing we've chosen: power, success, freedom, fearless. That's part of the all. And if you intend it and then you bring it through the warrior engine, you can bring that into your reality. You can put your roots in that and you can grow it up into your trunk. You can bring it out through your branches and you can become that love, power, freedom in the world. And then you can grow your business from that place. Oh, I get tingles just, that the amount of life force available to us, but we don't realize it, is amazing. So let's open your arms wide. Let's open beyond what you know, beyond the known. Just take a few breaths, breathing behind you, breathing above you, just opening to more than you know. Yeah, to the unknown. No matter how much you know, no matter how much all my words might make sense in your mind, you might already know this, you've already had 100 experiences. Let's go beyond that. Let's go and open to the unknown. Take a breath. Now, the warrior engine has 3 parts. You can chuck the tile up too. It's the breath, movement, and sound. And the basic intention is if we can take this essence that you've chosen, this freedom, this love, and you can learn to breathe it, then it opens the door. How we breathe opens the door between the everything and our body in this moment. Yeah. And then once we've found that breathing rhythm, we bring it into the body. And how does it want to move through the body? And it will literally show us a moving current, a pulse through the body. It'll rearrange our physical structure. It'll soften our shoulders. It'll lift our chest up. It'll create rivers of energy through our body. And then thirdly, and very importantly, especially as in part of the business training, is then it wants to flow out our mouth, through our word, through our voice, to express itself. And when it does that, when it does flow, first through the breath, then through the body, and then expressed through sound, that essence is now fully embodied in ourself and becomes an essence that we can flow into the world. Yeah, so if you've chosen freedom, the first two, breath and movement, is you receiving it for yourself, and then sound allows you to pour that freedom into the world. And so obviously that's an incredibly beautiful way to live for yourself, but it's also the foundations of how you grow an embodied business. Because, you know, mental, cognitive led people will be able to create their business by going, oh, I love that idea and I'm just going to make it happen. But someone who's got a deep passion for embodiment will make that decision, try and do it, and then it'll feel like they're stuck. That's like their mind's trying to make it happen. Their body's not on board. Whereas this way of working brings the body as the primary life force behind your business. Okay, so let's do it. That's enough talking. So just get up now. You don't need to see the camera, but just don't be distracted. But stand up, get out of your chairs now. Definitely, definitely just get up and just move around a bit and just get in your body. Just do a few weird movements, shake those hips, do whatever you want to do, but just get some life force moving through the body. Yes. That's it, dynamic dog. I love those knees lifting up. Whatever it is, great. Just shake the face around, get the hips moving. And just come present, come here, come feeling this moment, because so much magic is here in this moment if we just show up. And now all I want you to do is I want you to ask this simple question of how does this essence you've chosen, so how does freedom or vitality, Craig's just chucked in the thing, how does vitality breathe? And the trick here is that you're not working this out with your mind. This is, your body has an intelligence to it that is far beyond anything we can comprehend. So just trust the body knows how does vitality breathe, and just feel the breath of vitality. You'll find like a breathing rhythm. And so in fact, if I ask how does vitality breathe, I get this really like I've just climbed to the top of a mountain breath. Yeah, that's how vitality breathes for me. It'll be different for each person. If you've chosen peace, it probably has a softer breath, but just feel how does that peace breathe? And just stay with this. Yeah, if you're a person who gets easily distracted, just catch that. Yeah, because this is the powerful moment in this session where you really get a chance to embodily get what I've been talking about. So just find that breathing rhythm. How does this essence breathe? And just enjoy that. Yeah, just enjoy that breathing rhythm. And just find its rhythm. See if you can soften into it, surrender into it. And if it's a visceral, strong rhythm, then let it ravish your body. Yeah, if it's a sweet, soft rhythm, then let it seduce your body. But just find that breathing rhythm and feel like you're opening that door to life force. As you're taking your focus and you're intending to breathe this into the body. And if you notice resistance or tension, yeah, just welcome that. I forgot to do that actually before, is to just notice each of you will have a different level of embodiment for the thing you've chosen. Yeah, so if someone might have chosen vitality and you're already at a 7, in which case the body will be quite a yes, and quite quickly the body will respond and be like, yes, bring it on. Whereas if you choose vitality and your body's actually embodied that currently at a 2, then there'll be a lot more resistance. And so we don't fight with that resistance, we just welcome it and love it as it is. And then we invite that breath in anyway. So loving whatever level of resistance is there, welcome it, and just find that breathing rhythm and just invite it into a moving rhythm as well now. So how does this freedom breathe? How does this freedom move? Just opening to in my case right now, when I'm asking how does vitality breathe, there's this real sense of the breath moving through the spine. So as I ask how does it move, it's like the breathing rhythm almost just turns into a movement rhythm. Yeah. Get off your chair, Craig. Get into your hips. You've got powerful hips. I don't want you sitting. I want you activating that fucking warrior engine in your belly. It's the same with anyone else. If you're, I mean, it's fine if it's really true for you, especially depending on what essence you're working with. But I really invite you to get up, get the legs activated. Yeah. Because when an essence comes alive in the legs, it's more anchored, just like the roots of a tree. So get up, breathe into that belly, into those legs, and just feel how does this essence breathe and how does it move now. Maybe the shoulders relax, maybe the lungs fill up, oh, maybe there's a pulse through the hips, maybe the jaw relaxes, just whatever it is, just allow this breathing and moving to come alive in you. Yeah, this is the power you have to choose something and then wake it up through the body. And follow that breathing, moving. And when I'm training people deeply in this, we'll do this for an hour. Yeah, we'll do just how does it breathe and move for an hour, and you'll literally feel like old things rise up and be released. You'll open doorways in the body, and you'll deepen and deepen into this in a way that's really quite profound. Yeah, we're not doing that today, but just know that these seeds that you're sowing here can be practiced, and in the village and the deeper trainings that we do, we very much work with learning to fundamentally rewrite how much life force is allowed to move through us, how much freedom, power, joy. And we do that for ourselves, but we also do that for our businesses and those we serve, because obviously the more life force that can move through us, the more we've got to give, the more successful our businesses will be. And so now let's move into sound as well. Yeah, now sound is one of the most powerful tools you have to create your life. The sound is the way that life force moves from you out into the world, obviously through words, but also it flows into action. Yeah. So if we say, I will, go and call 10 clients, and that's coming from this embodied place, that declaration actually initiates action. And before we know it, we're doing it. Whereas if the voice isn't alive, then the mind will say, I should go on to call 10 clients. And then the being will resist that, or you'll drag yourself there. So learning to awaken your voice with essence is integral to this embodied way of creating that we're teaching you in this whole system. So just relax the jaw and just open, just allow some sound. How does this essence breathe? How does it move? And how does it sound? And again, if it's an essence of peace, it might just, it might sigh. Yeah. If it's an essence of vitality, ah, and might actually roar and really open the voice and start wanting to sound like a dragon. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but just relax that jaw and just allow the breath and movement to also become a rhythm and expression of sound now. Yeah, sound is way more powerful than most of us realize as a foundation for creating. Yeah, again, so many people who want to create their dreams, especially because I work with lots of embodied people, have activated their life force in the breath and the body, but they haven't learned to awaken a voice, and that's what's holding back their business. Yeah, they know it internally, but they haven't got the power to ravish the world with it through their voice. So again, a lot of the state work I do in helping business owners grow is get this love inside you into your voice, into your expression. So just give yourself a minute of really allowing that full expression to move through you. Sound and even words come. I believe in you, I love you, whatever wants to come, just open and allow that. And and just play with breath, movement, and sound for a minute now, and just see. There's a point here where you'll get to the known. It'll be like, okay, that's enough now, and I want you to see if you can go beyond that to activate a really deep new current of life and state in your body. Oh, and get it in the hips. Yeah, really feel it through the hips. Have this feeling of wanting to do 2 more hours with you just on this to really help you get how powerful changing your state changes everything. But in fact, let's do that. Just imagine you've done this for 2 hours now. You've been getting in your hips for 2 hours. You've been bringing it up through the spine, high. You've been letting it pour out through your body for 2 whole hours, reweaving the foundations of your state, of your physiology. And so you're going to be finishing that 2 hour session in a minute. And uh, just allow those words to speak. Maybe there's like an affirmation, just like a one statement, like I am alive, or I believe in you, or I love you, or fuck yes, or whatever it is. And just speak those words. And as you do, you'll notice that you can sort of breathe them in. And this is what we call the full activation rhythm, which is when it's moving through breath, movement, sound, and then you're speaking words that are almost seeding in the breath and opening new life force, and you become a visceral, vibrating creator of your own reality in a very felt, real, right now sense. And now I've got a question for you to finish this practice: is if you brought this quality that you've just awoken now into your business, how would it transform your relationship with your business? If every day for a month or 3 months or 6 months, you could awaken this essence through your body and then pour it into your business, how would your business transform? And just open to a vision, to just however your unconscious wants to answer that for you. Beautiful, beautiful. Excitement, passion, focus, flow, grace, love. Yeah, lots of beautiful words coming through. Feel free to chuck what you see would be possible for your business in the chat, and just find a way to integrate and complete this. This is only obviously 15 minutes, but hopefully you get the incredible power of being able to activate your state as the foundation before you create. Yeah, a lot of the sessions in this series are around how to create good business strategy, those things. But the foundation of everything you'll learn from me is get in state, then create. Take a breath of gratitude, completing, and just share you just write some words about what you see as possible in your business if you brought this, this practice, not even just this essence, but if you brought a practice of mastering your state first. Yeah, way too often we go to strategy, to tasks to do, and we haven't awoken the dragon first, and so we have to walk there. Yeah. Or potentially even drag a dragon on the way. Whereas if you wake that dragon up, the speed at which things can transform, again, like I shared with my client, coaching that fella, is that his ability to create was so rapid once his dragon was fully on board. Okay, so in a minute I'll hear from some people, but I'll just touch base on the village. Yeah, so the village is where we practice all this stuff. It's an ongoing business accelerator, and it's the core training program of the Embodied Business Institute for people who want to grow their business the embodied way. Yeah, and it's fundamentally about state and strategy and support. It's what we call the three fires. So you can chuck that one up. You can chuck the village one up first if you want to. So basically, I'm not going to share a lot about it now. If you're interested, you can just type the word village and we'll reach out to you. But the core training here, the core thing you'll do is it's an ongoing container, so you can stay in it for months or years, and it's basically everything you need to accelerate your business the embodied way. Yeah, and how we do that is what I call the three fires. You can bring up the next one. Love it. Changing the world, raising the vibration. The words from Tess. Thank you. And so then we have the three fires. Yeah. Now the three fires are how the village works. And the first fire is what we've been exploring today, which is the mastery of your state. You can chuck up the 3 fires, Sue. Um, and it's really about how to consciously, consistently practice the mastery of your state, both just in general for your own vitality and life force, but also very specifically in regards to what you're creating. So if you have a launch coming up, if you're wanting to call in 10 clients, then you'll learn how to activate the state behind that, which then creates a whole different quality of action that comes from. And then the second fire is strategy. We have a whole, what we call the embodied business system with, a whole, embodied business learning center with hundreds of hours of audios and materials and things for you to be able to, know what action to take and when to grow your business. And then the last one is support, which is, that whole, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, in my mind, it takes a village to raise a business. So you have coaching and accountability from me and Sue, as well as you have an empowered community who are learning all this stuff together, and it just creates a momentum. And so the three of them, state, strategy, and support, is sort of the foundation of what the village gives you to help you accelerate your business in epic ways. So if you're interested, just drop the word village below and we'll reach out and share some more info. You can bring that down now, Sue. And so I'll say one more thing to finish is that if you are struggling in your life, in business or in anything, but we'll stay with business, first check out, is it a state issue? Because so often we see the issue as being something more external, and therefore the solutions we go out there, but we haven't shifted our state. So we're still at a 2 out of 10 in that state, trying to create solutions. Whereas if we change our state, then often solutions come. Sometimes problems just disappear instantly, or otherwise solutions come quite naturally. So yeah, I can't sort of roar loud enough for just how powerful it is to really master your own state. So I'll finish the recording now. I hope you enjoyed it.